My name is Claire Donovan and I am 30 years old. 3 years ago my stepsister slept with my husband, moved him into her apartment, and told the entire family I was too cold to keep a man. Last month she walked into my mother's house for a family visit, looked me up and down, and said, "Still single?" LOL. She laughed like she had won something permanent. What she didn't know was that I had spent the last 3 years building something she could never touch, and that her little visit was about to cost her far more than she expected. I married Ryan when I was 25. We had a small wedding, a clean apartment, and what I believed was a stable life. My stepsister Vanessa had always been the loud one in the family. Same mother, different fathers. She moved in with us when she was 17 and quickly learned how to stay at the center of every room. Ryan was polite to her at first. Then the late-night conversation started. Then the comments about how she understood him better. Then the night I came home early from a work trip and found them in our bed. I didn't scream. I didn't cry in front of them. I didn't beg him to stay. I packed a bag in silence, left the apartment keys on the kitchen counter, and walked out. Ryan called for weeks. Vanessa sent a long message about how these things just happen and that I should be mature about it. The family mostly stayed quiet. My mother said she didn't want to take sides. My stepfather said adults make their own choices. Vanessa posted photos of them together within a month. Ryan looked happier than he had in our last year of marriage. I filed for divorce, took almost nothing, and moved into a small studio on the other side of the city. People expected me to collapse. I didn't. I went to work. I kept my routine. I watched everything and said very little. For 3 years Vanessa lived inside the version of the story where she had one. She had the man, the attention, and the family narrative that I had been the problem, too distant, too serious, too difficult to love. Ryan eventually left her as well. Of course he did. Men who leave one woman for another rarely stop there. But Vanessa never told the family that part. She simply stopped posting about him and started talking about focusing on herself and new beginnings. I used those 3 years differently. I moved into corporate compliance, a field that rewarded precision and memory. I saved money aggressively. I bought a clean 1-bedroom apartment in my own name with no one else's signature on the papers. I kept my circle small and my boundaries sharper than they had ever been. I never spoke badly about Vanessa in public. I simply stopped creating space for her in my life. Then the family visit was announced. My mother called and said Vanessa would be in town for the weekend and that it would be nice if everyone could be civil for once. I told her I would come for dinner on Saturday. Nothing more. No overnight stay. No extra time. Saturday evening I arrived on time. Vanessa was already there, louder than the room required, laughing too hard at her own stories. When she saw me she tilted her head, looked me over from head to toe, and delivered the line she had clearly rehearsed. Still single. LOL. A few people chuckled the way people do when they want tension to pass quickly. I set my bag down, poured myself a glass of water, and sat directly across from her. Yes, I said. Still single. She kept smiling, but the smile had an edge. I mean, after everything. I just thought you'd have moved on by now. Found someone. You know. I did move on, I answered. I just didn't need to announce it to the family group chat. The conversation shifted, but the air stayed tight. Vanessa spent the next hour dropping small, careful comments about how Ryan had been confused back then, how I had been emotionally unavailable, how she had tried to be a good sister through it all. I let her talk. I didn't correct her. I didn't defend myself. I watched her perform for the room the same way she had always done. Near the end of the evening my mother brought out an old photo album. Vanessa flipped through the pages and stopped on a picture of Ryan and me from our wedding day. She held it up for the table to see. "Crazy how things change," she said. "He looks so different now." "Does he?" I asked. She blinked. "I mean, I haven't really talked to him in a while." I nodded once. "I know." That was the first time her smile fully slipped. She recovered quickly, but the shift was visible. The rest of the evening stayed polite on the surface. I left at a normal time. No raised voice. No dramatic exit. No final speech. I simply said goodbye to my mother and walked out. 2 days later Vanessa called me. Her voice was thinner than it had been at the dinner. "Did you talk to Ryan?" she asked. "No." "Then why is he sending me screenshots of old messages between the two of you? And why is he telling mutual friends that I cheated on him with someone from his office last year?" I stayed quiet long enough for her to keep filling the silence. "Claire, what did you do?" "I didn't do anything to you," I said. "I just stopped protecting the version of the story you preferred." 3 years earlier, when I left the apartment, I had forwarded every message Ryan and Vanessa exchanged during the affair to a private email folder. I never used them. I never threatened anyone with them. I never posted them. I simply kept them. After the family dinner I sent Ryan one short, calm message. I still have everything from back then. I'm not interested in drama or public scenes. But if Vanessa continues rewriting what happened, I will no longer correct the record for her. Ryan, who had spent the previous year trying to live a quieter life, decided he no longer wanted Vanessa's version of events floating around unchecked. He began answering questions honestly when mutual friends asked. The messages she had sent him while they were together, the ones calling me unstable, the ones discussing how to push me out of the marriage, the ones celebrating how easy it had been, started circulating in the same social circle she had once dominated. Vanessa tried to control the damage the only way she knew how. She posted vague stories about toxic energy, jealous people, and of women who can't let go. It did not land the way she expected. People who had watched her openly celebrate the affair 3 years earlier were less willing to believe she was now the victim. The contrast was too sharp. My mother called me once. Her voice was tired. "Was this necessary, Claire?" She came into the house and laughed in my face about still being single, I said. I didn't start the conversation. I simply stopped finishing her sentences for her. I never spoke to Vanessa again after that phone call. She left the city a few weeks later. The family group chat grew quieter where I was concerned. Ryan eventually sent me a short message apologizing for the years he had wasted and for the way things ended. I read it once and did not reply. There was nothing left that required a response. I still live in the same apartment. I still work the same job. I still keep my circle small. The only real difference is that the story people tell about me no longer belongs to my stepsister. When someone asks if I am still single, I tell them the truth. Yes. And I am not looking for anyone who needs an audience to feel important. Some returns are not reunions. They are reminders. Vanessa came back to confirm I was still beneath her. She left knowing I had simply stopped standing in the place she had assigned me 3 years earlier. I did not need to raise my voice. I did not need to make a scene at the dinner table. I only needed to stop protecting a narrative that had never protected me. That was enough. Thank you for watching Hidden Truth Revenge. If this story stayed with you, leave a comment and tell me where you are watching from. You do not owe anyone a soft reaction to their cruelty. All characters, conflicts, and events are fictional and created only for entertainment and educational purposes.